It's a known fact that our population is increasing in Toronto. In fact, we were the fastest growing city in North America in 2019, and that was really driven by immigration. Now, even when immigration took a pause in Canada because of COVID, we're still in second place, just behind Phoenix for 2020. But unlike the other growing cities on the list, we're actually the only ones with limited land in Toronto. So the only way we've been meeting this growing housing demand is to build up. And that's why we also take the prize for the most number of cranes in North America. Now, we know that after COVID happened, people have now been wanting more space, so there's a greater preference for houses instead of being cooped up in smaller condos. But that's not all. We're also seeing a few other things that's quietly dwindling our housing supply on the other side. First of all, instead of buying one home and swapping for another, more people are owning more than one property in the form of either rental properties or second homes. Second of all, older residents who normally sell their homes, typically houses, and downsize or move to senior homes have been hanging on to their properties too. So as our population grows, combined with a bigger preference for houses, combined with limited land to build houses, combined with less people selling houses, these are all signs that the price of houses instead of condos in Toronto might go up more and more quickly in the future. Unfortunately, income growth isn't catching up to real estate price growth. So this means we're probably going to expect a growing percentage of renters in our Toronto population moving forward. In this video, we're going to hypothetically play out how things will look like if the renter percentage in Toronto starts to increase. How will the demographics start to change? How will this affect the demand for different types of rentals? And what does this mean for the growth of real estate prices in Toronto? If you like content like this, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you see more videos like this made specifically for real estate investors in Toronto. Let's take a look at our current mix of renters to homeowners in Toronto. According to our latest census, 46% of our Toronto population are renters. Now, if you compare this to other cities in North America, San Francisco is at 20% more dense than Toronto, and because of this, they have a bigger renter population at 65%. New York is even more dense, and their renters make up 67.4% of their population. So it looks like there is a correlation between the density of a city and the percentage of renters, and a report by Insurify has verified our hypothesis. Now, when our renter population starts to grow, studies also show that the type of renters will also start to change. Specifically, we're going to see more renters who are older, richer, and have bigger households. And as our renters evolve, we're also probably going to see changing renter preferences as well. Older and richer renters will want nicer and bigger units because they can't afford it. And a growing family size will mean that there will be a continued preference for houses over condos. At the end of the day, increasing condo supply to meet renter demand might not be the only solution to meet the entire rental demand anymore. A big part of our rental market right now is filled with smaller 1 or 2 bedroom condos. And then we have fewer larger condos up for rent and also a smaller number of bigger houses up for rent when you compare this to the condo rental supply. Now, we saw that even with a small uptick in rental demand for bigger units during COVID, changed up the rental price growth between smaller and bigger units, with rents in smaller units dropping, whereas bigger units weren't as impacted. And now when demand for bigger units start to grow more and the supply stays the same because it's hard to build more houses, we're going to see rent growth for houses start to go up more quickly compared to everything else. If this is a permanent change moving forward, how will this affect the Toronto real estate market in the long run? First of all, in the general housing market right now, it's not accurate just to use rent yields to estimate the cost of a property simply because you're also competing with end user buyers who don't look at rental numbers when bidding for houses. But as more people become renters, we're going to be in a situation where most home buyers are landlords instead of end users. And when that happens, we're likely going to see properties priced more based on rent yields. This means we should expect rental properties that have the highest rent yields to also see the highest prices, and the properties with the highest rent growth might also see the highest property price appreciation too. Of course, when there is a permanent shift in demand, the real solution in the long run is to bring up supply quicker to match the growing demand. And if we're expecting more preference for houses, we can probably expect more laneway houses or garden suites popping up to meet the growing house demand. And following the same frame of thought as before, where rent yields will be the predominant influencer for property prices, we're also likely going to see a bigger bump in property prices for properties that have a second house. So if you build a second house and your net rent yield goes up by 50%, then it's very possible that the land with two houses might be 50% more than the same lot with just one house. Even right now, houses have much better rent yields compared to condos. You're looking at positive cash flows for houses in Toronto compared to negative cash flows for Toronto condos. And if you believe that houses will also see the best rent growth when our renter population continues to grow, then it's very possible that we'll also see the best long-term appreciation in houses as well. We're big believers in investing in freehold houses in Toronto, and if you do want to chat more about this, we're ready for you. We can look at your requirements and your preferences and then match you up with the best investment property that fits your needs. And after you buy it, our team also provides renovations guidance, leasing, and property management if you need it. So just connect with us if you want to learn more about our services. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and look for us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn if you do want to hear from us more regularly. I wish you all the best in your real estate investing journey. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!